Did you know some modern cars are barely lasting 40,000 miles? It's true. Vehicles that should be running smoothly are breaking down way too early. Today, we're looking at the 20 least reliable cars on the road. We've made this list using repair records, owner complaints, and recall data. And trust me, some of these cars will really surprise you. We're talking about vehicles falling apart before they should. Why focus on 40,000 miles? That's less than 3 years of driving for most Americans. Cars should easily go twice that long without major problems. But these duds, they're failing left and right. I've seen expensive luxury cars that need a new transmission before hitting 50,000 miles. The Ford F-150 Hybrid was supposed to be a game changer, America's favorite truck, now with better fuel economy and a dash of eco-friendliness. Sounds great, right? Well, not so fast. Owners are reporting serious issues with this high-tech hauler, and they're popping up way too early. We're talking big problems before these trucks even hit 40,000 miles. The main troublemaker? The hybrid system. It's breaking down all over the place, leaving drivers stuck and facing pricey repairs. One owner told me his truck's hybrid battery died at just 32,000 miles. The bill to replace it? A jaw-dropping $7,500. And he's not alone. Forums are packed with similar stories of hybrid system failures, engine misfires, and trucks suddenly losing power. Even simple things are messed up. One guy couldn't open his tailgate for weeks. These repairs are seriously expensive. Owners are forking out between $1,200 to $3,000 each time they visit the dealership, and they're going in way more often than they should. With all these reliability problems, the F-150 Hybrid is looking like a pretty risky buy. Up next, we're checking out a vehicle from a brand usually known for dependability. But their newest model? It's got some unexpected issues. Remember when Toyota trucks were known for bulletproof reliability? Well, the new Tundra has put that reputation in jeopardy. Owners are dealing with major repairs before hitting 40,000 miles. So what happened to this automotive icon? The latest Tundra has serious engine and transmission issues. Trucks are stalling on highways and struggling with basic performance. It's not just a few isolated cases either. These problems are hitting owners hard in the wallet. Engine and transmission repairs are costing thousands, which is a big blow for trucks that are barely broken in. We're talking rough shifting and even complete failures. This drop in reliability is tanking resale values too. Trucks that should hold their value are losing it faster than ever. Owners are getting squeezed from both sides, expensive repairs and lower trade-in values. Toyota's push for innovation might be to blame. The new Tundra has a more complex hybrid powertrain. It's cool tech, but it looks like they rushed it out before fixing all the bugs. This race to innovate is causing real headaches for owners. Toyota's trying to fix these problems with recalls and service bulletins. But for many owners, it's too late. The damage to Toyota's reputation and customers' trust is already done. Up next, we'll look at a luxury brand known for prestige, but its latest model isn't living up to the hype. Think rugged means reliable? Think again. The Land Rover Defender, famous for tackling tough terrain, is now giving its owners more headaches than adventures. Here's why this off-road icon spends more time in the shop than on the trails. The new Defender was supposed to be the ultimate adventure machine, mixing old-school toughness with new-school tech. But owners are learning the hard way that this mix isn't working out. Electrical gremlins are turning these SUVs into pricey lawn ornaments. Picture being stranded in the middle of nowhere because your fancy Defender decided to quit on you. It's not all about the gadgets, though. The suspension, which should handle all that rough stuff, is throwing in the towel too soon. Instead of exploring, owners are dealing with bumpy rides and endless repairs. Let's talk cash. When these Defenders break down, it hits the wallet hard. We're seeing repair bills around $2,000 each time. That's a lot of money for a truck that's meant to be tough. Online forums are packed with stories of Defenders spending more time at the dealer than in driveways. From dead electronics to busted suspensions, it looks like the only thing the Defender is good at conquering these days is its owner's savings. Even the big names can let you down. Up next, we'll look at a family favorite that's been causing some real problems. From soccer practice to off-road adventures, the Jeep Grand Cherokee seems to do it all. But what if its versatility comes at a hidden cost? Here are some eye-opening facts about this popular SUV that might make you think twice before buying. The Grand Cherokee's been a staple in driveways across America, but it's hiding some serious problems. We're seeing a ton of issues pop up before these things even hit 40,000 miles. And these aren't small annoyances. We're talking major headaches that'll drain your wallet fast. A big chunk of Jeep owners are dealing with electrical and drivetrain problems in the first year. Imagine buying a brand new SUV and facing issues that quickly. It's crazy. The transmission's a big trouble spot. Owners are complaining about rough shifting, and fixing it isn't cheap. Repair bills can be astronomical in some cases. And if you thought the hybrid version would be better, think again. The Grand Cherokee 4xe struggles in cold weather. Owners are frustrated with poor efficiency when the temperature drops. So much for saving money on gas. Look, I get it. The Grand Cherokee looks great and has some cool features. But with all these problems, it's looking less like a reliable family car and more like a money pit. Remember when everyone was excited about the Tesla Model S? It was supposed to change driving forever. Well, it did, but not always in good ways. Some owners are finding out this high-tech car can turn into a $2,000 paperweight. The Model S is full of new technology, and that's causing big problems. Batteries are breaking down, leaving drivers stuck with expensive repairs. Tesla's repair shops are so busy, people wait weeks just to get their cars checked. But it's not just the battery. The big touchscreen that controls almost everything in the car is failing for lots of owners. When it stops working, you can't use important features. One guy told me he couldn't even open his car for days because the screen died. These aren't rare issues. Online forums are full of angry Tesla owners talking about these problems. The Model S is great when everything works, but all this new tech is risky and expensive. People who bought these cars early are learning the hard way that cutting-edge technology can leave you stranded. Next, we'll look at another electric car that's giving owners big headaches. This popular model is making a lot of people regret their purchase. What happens when the solution to climate change becomes a $1.8 billion disaster? The Chevrolet Bolt EV was supposed to be the people's electric car. Instead, it turned into a lesson on how new technology can go terribly wrong. Chevy's dream of an affordable electric car became a nightmare when batteries started catching fire in people's garages. The problem was so bad that Chevy had to recall about 140,000 Bolts, pretty much every single one they made. This recall hit owners hard. People were afraid to charge their cars at night or park in their garages. It was like having a car that might explode at any moment. The Bolts lost value fast, and no one wanted to buy a used one with these risks. Chevy's facing a huge bill to fix these cars. But the real losers are the owners who can't use their cars safely. Even after Chevy started replacing batteries, some new ones are still causing problems. The Bolt's troubles show that being first isn't always best. Chevy rushed to get their new tech on the market, and now everyone's paying the price. The owners are stuck with cars that are more trouble than they're worth. The Volkswagen Atlas, built to compete with other big SUVs, isn't living up to its promise of reliability. This popular model is racking up repair bills fast, with many breakdowns happening before 40,000 miles. Owners are dealing with major engine and transmission problems. Some Atlas SUVs are stalling on the road and struggling with basic performance. Repair costs are huge. Some owners face bills over $4,000 for major work. And this isn't just a few unlucky buyers. Many Atlas owners are hit with big issues early on. One fed-up owner said, "I'm at the dealership more than on family road trips." This feeling is common among Atlas owners. Volkswagen's tried to fix things with recalls, but for many, it's not enough. The Atlas is teaching families a hard lesson about buying SUVs. Those who thought they were getting a reliable vehicle are stuck with a problem-prone ride. Next up, we'll look at a popular hybrid SUV that's giving its eco-conscious owners unexpected trouble. Hybrid technology promised a revolution in fuel efficiency, but some Hyundai Tucson owners are facing a different reality. How did this popular eco-friendly SUV become a cautionary tale? The Tucson hybrid was meant to be both family-friendly and eco-friendly. Instead, owners are dealing with serious electrical problems that can leave them stranded. We're not talking about small issues here. These are major problems. Some owners are shelling out over $4,000 for repairs before hitting 40,000 miles. That's a lot of money for a nearly new car. The scary part? There's a pattern of electrical failures that can shut down the whole vehicle without warning. Picture yourself cruising down the highway when your car suddenly conks out. All these reliability issues mean the Tucson isn't living up to its fuel efficiency promises either. Owners are stuck with high repair bills and aren't saving as much on gas as they expected. Hyundai is aware of the problem and has issued technical service bulletins for various electrical issues. But for many owners, this help came too late. They're left with a car that spends more time being fixed than being driven. The Tucson Hybrid teaches us that eco-friendly doesn't always mean hassle-free. It's a hard lesson for families who thought they were making a smart choice. Next up, we'll look at an American SUV that's also testing its owner's patience. You might think a best-selling SUV would be bulletproof, but the Ford Explorer is letting drivers down in a big way. How did this American icon become a mechanic's best friend? The Explorer has been popular for years, but recent models are giving owners major headaches. We're seeing big problems show up really early, often before these SUVs hit 40,000 miles. The transmission is a huge pain point. Drivers are dealing with rough shifting, sudden jerks, and even total failures. Some folks are paying over $3,000 to fix transmissions on nearly new cars. On top of that, the exhaust system is causing trouble too. Leaks can let dangerous fumes into the cabin. Pretty scary for a family car. These aren't one-off issues. Lots of Explorer owners are getting to know their mechanics way too well. Some are at the dealership every few months for repairs. It's turning their dream SUV into a total nightmare. Ford's having a hard time keeping up with all the problems. They've put out recalls, but many owners feel it's not enough. The Explorer's reputation is taking a beating, and it's easy to see why. Up next, we've got another tough vehicle that's falling short. This one might surprise you. The Ram 1500 looks tough, but it's got some big weaknesses. This popular truck is having serious problems, and they're happening way too soon. Electrical problems are a nightmare for Ram owners. These issues can leave you stuck, with your truck dying out of nowhere on a job site. It's happening more than you'd expect. The fuel system's also causing trouble. Fuel pumps are breaking down, making engines stall. Fixing this is expensive too. Owners are paying over $1,000 just to get their trucks running again. These repairs are expensive. Fixes can cost from $500 to $2,000. That's a lot of money for a truck that should be reliable. Here's the worst part. These problems are showing up before 40,000 miles. That's way too early for a work truck to start breaking down. One owner told me, "I had to take my Ram 1500 to the shop 3 times in 6 months. It really messed up my work." He's not alone. Many Ram owners are dealing with the same issues. In 2024, Ram had to recall trucks for electrical and fuel system problems. They know there's an issue, but for many owners, it's too late. So much for being tough and dependable. These days, the Ram 1500 seems more fragile than fierce. You might think a hybrid SUV would be perfect for road trips. But what if it left you stranded halfway to your destination? The Kia Sorento hybrid has a big problem hiding under its fuel-efficient exterior. This SUV was supposed to be roomy, efficient, and dependable. But owners are learning the hard way that it's falling short on reliability. The hybrid system, which should be the Sorento's best feature, is actually its biggest weakness. Hybrid batteries are failing way too early. Some Sorento hybrids have major issues before hitting 40,000 miles. That's not good news for a family car. The transmission is also causing trouble. Owners report rough shifting and even total failures. These problems aren't just annoying. They're dangerous and costly to fix. Hybrid-related repairs can cost thousands. That's a huge expense, especially when you bought the car to save money on fuel. One owner's story shows how bad it can get. He said, "The hybrid system failed right after the warranty ended. Repairs were super expensive and we got stranded on a family trip." Imagine being stuck on the roadside with your kids, watching your fuel-efficient dream become a pricey nightmare. Kia's tried to fix these issues with recalls, but for many owners, it's too late. The Sorento hybrid shows that new tech doesn't always mean trouble-free driving. Up next, we've got another family SUV that's getting attention for all the wrong reasons. Subaru's known for reliability, right? Well, their 3-row SUV is challenging that reputation. The Ascent is racking up repair bills faster than it climbs hills. So how did Subaru's biggest vehicle become its biggest problem? The Ascent was meant to be Subaru's answer to the 3-row SUV market. But instead of dominating family road trips, it's draining owner wallets. We're seeing big issues before these cars even hit 40,000 miles. The engine's causing headaches. Owners are dealing with stalling and performance problems that can leave them stranded. It's dangerous and costs a lot to fix. The transmission's another pain point. They're failing way too early, and repairs are hitting families hard in the wallet. Here's the kicker. Ascent owners are in the shop more often than folks with other Subaru models. Seems like the bigger the car, the bigger the trouble. Subaru's trying to fix things with recalls, but for many owners, it's not enough. Some people are looking at repair bills around $5,000 before they even hit 40,000 miles. The Ascent proves that even trusted brands can mess up. It's a tough lesson for families who thought they were getting a reliable ride for their adventures. Up next, we'll look at a popular minivan that's giving families more hassle than happiness on the road. Imagine spending $30,000 on a family car, only to find out it might not even make it to 40,000 miles. That's what many Honda Odyssey owners are dealing with. How did this happen to such a popular minivan? The Odyssey has been a family favorite for years, but recent models are causing big headaches. Transmission problems are showing up way too early, leaving families stranded and facing huge repair bills. We're talking about $3,000 or more to fix these issues. The sliding doors are another pain point. Owners are struggling with doors that won't open, close, or just get stuck. One frustrated owner said, "The sliding doors have been a nightmare. They often get stuck, and the repair costs are adding up quickly." These aren't one-off problems. The Odyssey is having more issues than other minivans in its class. Families are spending more time at the dealership than on the road. Sure, the Odyssey has some great features, but with all these reliability problems, it's looking more like a risky choice than a solid family car. If you're looking for a minivan, you might want to check out other options. Next up, we'll talk about a full-size truck that's not as tough as it claims to be. The Chevy Silverado 1500 might change your mind about big trucks being reliable. It's strong enough to haul heavy stuff, but there's a problem. It might break down before you even get to work. Why are so many Silverados in repair shops instead of on job sites? People have loved the Silverado for years, but newer models have some big issues. Engines are failing, making weird noises, and sometimes just shutting off completely. That's the last thing you want when you're carrying a heavy load. The worst part? These problems are happening really early on. Some trucks are breaking down before they hit 40,000 miles. Fixing it costs about $4,400, which is a lot for a nearly new truck. It's not just the engine either. The Silverado has electrical problems too. Owners are dealing with strange issues that can leave them stuck on the side of the road. If you rely on your truck for work, that's a big problem. Sure, the Silverado has some nice features, but with all these reliability issues, it's more of a risk than a dependable work truck. If you're looking to buy a full-size truck, you might want to think carefully before choosing this one. Next up, we've got a surprising problem child. It's a big SUV that's causing families a lot of headaches. Ever wonder why some car lots are full of used Nissan Armadas? It's not because they're popular. These big SUVs are hiding a problem that's costing owners thousands. Let's take a look at what's going wrong. The Nissan Armada looks good on the outside, but under the hood, there's a bunch of issues making owners angry. The transmission is the biggest headache. It's rough, breaks down a lot, and fails way too soon. We're seeing Armadas that need new transmissions before they hit 40,000 miles. That's a huge bill for a nearly new car. And it's not just the transmission. The fuel system's messing up too, making the engine stall and run poorly. Picture driving on the highway, and your Armada just decides to quit. Pretty scary, right? The worst part? This isn't happening to just a few unlucky people. Lots of Armada owners are spending way too much time at the dealership. They keep coming back with the same problems, even on low-mileage cars. One owner told me, "I'm sick of taking my car in for repairs. I wish I never bought it." Sure, the Armada has some nice features, but with all these problems, it's more like a money pit than a reliable family car. If you're looking for a big SUV, you might want to think twice about this one. Next up, we've got an electric truck that's giving its owners some shocking surprises. You've heard the buzz about electric trucks, but the Rivian R1T is causing more than just excitement. Let's look at the truth about this pickup. The R1T was supposed to be the truck of the future, but it's hitting some big speed bumps. Owners are dealing with glitches that mess up key systems, making their trucks a headache to use. The suspension's giving people trouble too. Instead of a smooth ride, owners are complaining it's way too rough for a fancy truck. And don't forget about charging problems. Imagine planning a road trip only to find your truck won't juice up properly. Total bummer. In its first year, the R1T got hit with 4 major recalls. We're talking scary stuff like airbags and gas pedals not working right. Not exactly what you want to hear about your brand new ride. When these trucks break down, fixing them is a real pain. Rivian's so new that finding parts and mechanics who know their stuff is tough. That means longer waits and bigger bills for repairs. Sure, the R1T has some cool tricks up its sleeve, but right now, it feels more like a work in progress than a dependable truck. If you're thinking about getting one, you might want to hold off until they iron out the wrinkles. Our next truck might surprise you. It's from a brand known for top-notch quality, but some owners are finding it's not living up to the hype. You'd think paying more for a truck would get you better quality. But the GMC Sierra 1500 is proving that wrong. Some of these trucks are falling apart before they even hit 40,000 miles. The Sierra is supposed to be GMC's best truck, but it's got big problems under the hood. The main issue is the cylinder deactivation system. It's making lifters collapse, engines sound weird, and some are just shutting down. This isn't just annoying. It stops people from doing their work. The transmission's messing up too. Owners are dealing with rough shifting and complete failures. These aren't small problems. They cost a lot to fix. Think about buying a truck for your business, only to have it in the shop more than on the job. GMC knows there's an issue. They've been sued over it. But for many owners, it's too late. They're stuck with trucks that don't live up to the professional grade promise. Sure, the Sierra has some nice features. But with all these problems, it's more of a gamble than a smart choice. If you want a high-end truck, you might want to look elsewhere. Up next, we've got another luxury ride that's causing more headaches than it's worth. Ever wonder if fancy German engineering is worth the hype? The Audi Q7 might change your mind. This luxury SUV is giving owners headaches, and it's falling apart faster than you'd expect. On paper, the Q7 looks great. It's big, fancy, and full of tech. But beneath that shiny exterior, there's trouble. Major breakdowns can leave you stuck on the side of the road, and the air suspension that's supposed to give you a smooth ride, it's a big fail. Owners are getting hit with huge repair bills. Fixing the suspension alone can cost over $2,000. And these aren't problems popping up after years of driving. They're happening before 40,000 miles. On average, Q7 owners are paying about $1,500 every time they need a repair. One fed-up owner said, "This car feels more like a burden than a luxury." Ouch. Audi's even had to recall the Q7 multiple times. They know there's a big problem, but for many owners, it's too late. Sure, the Q7 has some cool features, but with all these issues, it shows that paying a lot doesn't always mean you get a reliable car. Next up, we've got a fancy plug-in hybrid SUV that's giving owners a shock, and not in a good way. High-end engineering meets cutting-edge tech in the BMW X5 plug-in hybrid. Sounds great, right? Well, this luxury eco-warrior is shocking owners with more than its electric performance. The X5 plug-in hybrid looks amazing on paper. It's got luxury and eco-friendly cred. But here's the thing, it's having serious problems, and they're showing up way too early. The biggest issue? The hybrid battery. These things are failing left and right, and fixing them costs a fortune. We're talking thousands of dollars for repairs. That's a huge hit, especially when your car's barely broken in. The whole electrical system's acting up too. Owners are dealing with random shutdowns and weird glitches. Picture this. You're cruising down the highway, and suddenly everything goes dark. Not exactly what you paid for, right? These problems are killing fuel savings. Isn't saving gas the whole point of getting a hybrid? Well, that's not happening here. One owner put it this way: "I loved the car until the battery failed. The repair costs were crazy high, and I felt stuck without a reliable ride." The X5 plug-in hybrid's got some cool features, sure, but right now it's showing that new tech can lead to some serious headaches. Up next is a compact luxury SUV that's giving owners more trouble than they bargained for. Buick's Envision looks good on paper, but it's not selling well for a reason. From transmission problems to tech issues, this SUV shows why some cars don't catch on. So what's the deal with Buick's compact luxury model? The Envision has big problems starting early on. We're seeing major issues before these cars hit 40,000 miles. Drivers are struggling with jerky shifting and slow acceleration. It's more than just annoying, it could be dangerous. The fancy touchscreen system is also giving people headaches. Screens freeze up, apps don't work, and some folks can't even hook up their phones. In today's world, that's a big problem. Fixing these issues costs a lot. Some repairs are over $3,000. That's a ton of money for a nearly new car. Envision owners are becoming regulars at their dealerships. One unhappy owner said it best. "I thought I was getting a luxury car, but all these problems make it feel cheap." The Envision has some good points, but these issues are hard to ignore. If you're thinking about buying one, make sure you do your research first. We've looked at 20 cars falling apart way too soon, and it's pretty shocking. The Honda CR-V, for instance, is having transmission problems before 30,000 miles. The Ford F-150 is seeing engine issues around 25,000 miles. These aren't small problems. We're talking big repairs on cars that are practically new. If you're shopping for a car, you need to be smart about it. Check out reliability ratings on Consumer Reports or JD Power. Look at owner forums to see what people are actually saying. Don't forget to think about long-term costs, including possible repairs. A bit of research now could save you a ton of money down the road. All these early breakdowns are a big red flag for the car industry. It's not just one or two models. It looks like quality might be slipping across the board. Car makers need to focus on building vehicles that last, not just ones that look flashy. So before you buy your next car, do your homework. Look at those reliability ratings, read what owners are saying, and think about the long-term costs. Your future self will be glad you did.